All right, so as everybody can see, we have another arm out here today, visiting practice. You know who that is? Josiah Gray, pitcher for the Nats. Yeah. Hey, all right. Now they know. Now they know. I love
You
it.
can all put your phones away now. Figure out who it is. Practice all day.
That's funny.
Looks like you play football.
He looks great. He looks like an athlete. Been a Ravens fan, pretty much his whole life. From New Rochelle, and it's pretty cool. He said, "Why a Ravens fan?" He said, "Well, I just didn't like the Giants or the Jets, and I like Ray Lewis." Pretty normal story, right? So, what questions you have?
As the cut down happens tomorrow at 4 o'clock, what are kind of the discussions like from now to then, and how you balance to try to get to 53?
Right. Well, you know what? Most of it's been discussed. We have a plan already. We've started putting it into effect. There's a lot of considerations: position value, special teams value, also practice squad value, strategy. Eric and his guys got to look at strategy in terms of who might get claimed or not get claimed, or where we are with health in certain positions. I mean, those are all considerations that have to be made. So we'll probably take our time through until tomorrow to wrap it all up, and then probably, honestly, after the next couple of days after that, there'll be some things happening.
Hey, Coach, it's always a good problem to have very talented people in each department. How concerned are you with the running back department if you don't know if they're ready on week 1, JK and Edwards?
Right. Well, Gus won't be ready. He's out till week 4. He won't be ready before week 4 because of his designation. And JK, we have. If JK can go, I look at it right now. It'll be great. We'll be excited. He had a good practice today. If not, we've got the guys that'll play. So we're good either way.
Coach, De'Aaron Williams is limited, but he led the NFL with 19.5 yards per punt return. Is he an option back there for you guys? A young guy like that?
He is, but we're pretty. The other guy that you guys might have forgotten about, you haven't seen in a couple of weeks, led the league last year in punt returns. So I feel really confident about that position. We have 3 excellent returners. You put James Prochet in there with Devin as well, Duvernay. So.
On Friday, I think it was, the team announced that Ronnie Stanley had passed his physical. We didn't see him out. I don't know, was he out here or what's his schedule?
Yeah, he didn't come out today. We'll be looking for maybe tomorrow. It's just they have a plan in there, and they're kind of working him back in. So when he's out there an individual, we'll start coaching him.
John, the preseason's complete, and it's the first time since you've been here that your starters played little, if not. Has that affected your feel for preparation? Does it feel different to you to go in with that?
Well, it feels different, sure. Mark, we've never done it before here. We've always played our guys. We haven't played them as much as like Andy and some other, and Coach Belichick does, but we've played them more in that world. We've been more in that world in the past. We've played our guys to some degree. So this is the first time we haven't played the starters really, at all, except for the guys that were younger. We felt needed it. So yeah, we'll find out.
John,
it's new.
Did you get any more definitive word on Kevon Seymour? I know you said you wanted additional tests.
We did. He has an ankle sprain, so that's good news. It's not going to be like a week. It could be a few weeks. But we'll have him sometime early in the season.
You're talking about not the starters out there very much. Should we then read anything into the running game that just through 3 games didn't have a lot of yards per carry, a lot of big runs there? Is that a concern at all, or those weren't the guys that are going to be out there?
No,
read into it?
That's not a concern at all. You work on things you want to work on. You're watching things that you want to see. We practice our run game every single day, and we'll expect to go out there and execute it very well.
John, in terms of the starters not playing in the preseason, do you in return feel like you have to do anything extra in practice to kind of make up for that, I guess, time that they didn't get in the actual game?
Well, we've been practicing. Those guys have been practicing all the way through camp, and we've had our padded days, and we've had our non-padded fast days and all those kind of things. So they've been in practice. They've been practicing. So no, this is a short answer. Just continue to practice the way we have been.
John, Ben Powers did not play on Saturday. I'm sure it was part of the plan to get some of the more established veterans. Does it say anything about where you are at the left guard, or would you say that's still a consideration about who's going to start there?
Well, we're probably at the point now, Jeff, where we're just not going to talk about that. We have our plans, but there's no strategic value in announcing them.
And outside linebacker, obviously, Dalen's working through the injury over Dabo on the shelf right now. Do you see position flexibility with some of your rush linebackers, more traditional rush guys like Steve Means, where they can also play Sam linebacker, that there's versatility there?
Well, those guys are outside backers, Ryan, so sure, they can play Sam or rush, if you want to call it that, when we go into our base or what we call our Raven package. They can play either side.
John, one guy we haven't asked you about is Ardarius Washington. I mean, he was on the team last year. We know he had the foot injury and was a long time back with that. But how has he looked the last couple of weeks? And as far as where he stacks up, trying to compete for the roster spot?
Yeah, he's in the mix. We'll see. He's looked good. You've watched him, right? You've seen he's made plays. One thing about him, he's a tough football player. He's got a great nose for the ball, to use the cliche, and he plays good football out there. Now he also made a few mistakes because he hadn't played for a while, wasn't always in the right spot. He knows that, but he'll clean that up. I think he's done a good job. He's put himself in consideration.
John, Ronnie, if he can come back and practice this week, do you think there's a chance for him to be ready for the week one?
I think there's a chance, but I wouldn't comment on what the number is for strategic reasons.
Even if you say you're awesome.
It's in season now. It's all been fun and games up until this point. It's game on now.
How weird is the feel that just to have these full long 2 weeks till you get to week one? You get done the last preseason game, and it's like it's just extended out so far.
Feels great. It feels
it?
great. We like it. I'm a fan of it. I want to just kind of work on some things this week, give the guys a break over the weekend, a chance to catch their breath, and come back for game week next week.
John, for all your work on your roster, how much attention is been put into preparing for the Jets at this point?
Well, we've been preparing for the Jets and the Dolphins and the Patriots and the Bills and the Steelers and the Bengals and the Browns, I would say. We've sprinkled all that stuff in throughout camp and the offseason. That's part of what we do. But it hasn't been focused per se. So now we start turning toward the Jets and the first 4 games, but mainly the Jets. Yeah, only 9 plays, which, probably the right thing to do. But good. He looked good. Handled it well. Some things with cadence and things like that, that was good that we got him out there so he has a feel for it before he goes in. We're going to be in a very hostile environment. It's not going to be anything like what we had at home in a preseason game. It's going to be September 11th, 9/11 in New York. And, God bless all the first responders and all the brave souls from 9/11. I was in my office getting ready to play. We ended up playing the Seahawks the next week out there. I think we're getting ready to play the Giants. You can go back and check the Eagles' schedule on that to make sure. And one of our Carol Cullen comes in, who was Andy's administrative assistant. She says, turn the TV on. Turn the TV on. There's a hole in one of the buildings, right? What happened? Plane flew in. I'm thinking a little plane flew in there, right? You know what I mean? And I'm watching it, and just as I'm watching it, the second plane flies into the other tower, And then you knew the world had changed. You didn't know what you knew, but you went like, this isn't normal, I bet everybody here can say where they were when that happened, right? So to be playing in New York on 9/11 is going to be quite an honor.
John, on Friday, you guys officially put Bowser on the reserve PUP. We know that takes him out for the first 4 weeks. But do you still feel good about where he is in his rehab? I mean, he got injured at the end of last year, but do you feel like it'll be on the earlier end of when he'll be ready to go?
I feel really good about his rehab. I've seen him rehab. I've seen him move. I've seen how strong he looks. He looks really good. Part of that is how the player feels. Just being straight as I can be with it. He's got to feel right. And so we're not going to put a player out there until he feels right, he's confident, and all that kind of thing. So, but as far as all the measurables, he looks really good, and I'm confident that when he comes back, he's going to have a great year.
John, you and Eric talked about the culture that you guys have built here. Does that extend to talking to some of these best veterans that you can kind of work into part of that plan of bringing back, even if you don't have one on initial 53?
You're going for a little draft strategy there. You're going to get into Eric's head a little bit, which I appreciate, Jonas. That's good. But I would say yes, it does. It does, and that's guys want to be here. So, if you can work some of the things you're talking about out, that's you try to do that.
John, we know players want to get to the season as fast as possible, especially in preseason and training camp. Is it the same way as a coach? Are you ready to just get to the real game?
Oh yeah, it's time. It's you get about going into this last game, you start getting a little itchy. It's time to go.
This might fall into strategic, but any more information on Poe? Is he going to be ready?
Yeah, Poe will be back. For all the kids out there, Poe will be back. How's that? Does that work for you?
You didn't say when. Didn't say when, no.
That's strategic.
God bless him. The guy, he's out there. He had a tough injury.
Did you see the play?
I did.
Good ball.
I showed it to the team.
No, you didn't.
We all watched it. Did you see the one of the, was it the Atlanta Braves mascot?
Trucking people.
Destroying kids.
We had a little conversation in our team meeting room, like, if that's our kid out there, how are we responding to that? And the consensus was we all would have been shocked at first, like, is this really happening? Right? Then after that, I don't know. All right, well, I better get off.
Yeah.